Hello YouTube, Tim back with you again, and today I'd kind of like to go back to the roots of backpacking, which was the reason I started my channel, was to pass on information to people that are just getting started or maybe have been started for a little while but don't really understand all the equipment and know how to buy the right stuff. I'd like to show you a few items today that I bought both over 30 years ago, and if you stick with me I'll demo those guys for you and let you check them out, and you'll know how to get some good stuff. So anyway, the first thing I'd like to show you is my cook kit. You can't get this kit anymore. This is a Coleman Peak 1 cook kit that I bought a little over 30 years ago, back in the 80s, and it's a good kit. Like I said, you know, if it lasts 30 years it's got to be pretty good stuff. So got a small cook pan, what I guess I would call a little skillet, nice handles on it, all stainless steel, the whole kit's stainless. Of course you got a lid for that, and the lid will fit just about everything. Also inside you got a little coffee cup, you know, which I pretty much don't use because I use an insulated cup. This kit has been used all the way from sea level to almost 14,000 feet. Also inside, for canned goods, I carry a British can opener, these little guys, and the reason I like them is because they've got a place where your thumb fits, and that really gives you a lot more stability when you're opening a can if you're eating some canned goods. You can get these online, they're still available. They're a little bit better than the old World War II GI little bitty tiny square ones that you hold between your fingers and try to make your way around the can. This one just works a little better because it's got a little bit more stability with the handle. Also in here, you've got a medium-sized pot. You could cook up some soup in here, cook up some, you know, warm up some rice, something like that. Works great. Once again, good handles, all stainless. And then you got the big pot, which works really well, and it also, you can lock this in place so it will not spill on you if you pick it up and down until you push down and that unlocks it. It all nests together and works very well, and I've used it a lot. It's kept me alive up in the mountains. The other thing I'd like to show you is my cook stove. Oh, by the way, since you can't get the Coleman Peak 1 anymore, at REI they have a kit called the Snow Peak Personal Cook Kit, which is basically almost exactly the same as this one. And you can pick that up at REI for about $30. You can also order it online. As far as the stove, this is a SVEA 123. It's a Swedish-made stove, and they first introduced this back in 1955, and it was really the first mountaineering / backpacking stove. And the advantage of this stove is it will work at high altitudes in any weather. I've had this thing all the way up to 14,000 feet in snow, and it works like a charm. And the reason it works so well is the company that makes them, and I'll show it to you, was originally a blowtorch company. And you can see that's a little blowtorch. And when you fire it up, which I'm going to do here in a few minutes outside, you'll understand why they call it a blowtorch, because it is basically. Also, one of the neat functions of this stove is it'll burn for about 50 minutes on one tank of white gas, Coleman fuel, and your boil time is about 7 minutes on this stove. One of the cool features of this is when you're finished using it and you turn your key down on your temperature, when you go all the way down and then come back just up a little bit till it's off, there's a needle inside of here that will come up all the way through the flame area, and it will clear that tube out so that you don't get any gunk built up inside your gas tube, and it never clogs on you. I've never had a clog on this stove, and like I said, I've had this for about 30 years. So in a couple of minutes, I'm going to pop outside and show you how this guy works. You can still pick these up. Optimus bought them, and now it's an Optimus SVEA 123, and they'll cost you about $80, but it's probably the most dependable mountaineering stove that you could ever buy. And you know, I had a lot of friends who've tried other ones and different stoves, and I ended up boiling the water and cooking their meals. Generally, when I'm up in the mountains, all I'm eating is dehydrated and freeze-dried food anyway. So if I take my mountain house, I do, you know, about 2.25 cups of water. I pour it into the bag. I ziplock the bag. I let it sit for 8 to 9 minutes, and then I just take my spork and I just eat it right out of the bag. So I don't even use my cook kit for that. I mainly use that for making coffee and boiling water and stuff like that in the mornings. But anyway, let me step out on the patio here in a second, and I'll show you how this SVEA 123 works, and we'll see you outside. Okay guys, we're out on the patio now. I'm going to show you how to fire the stove up. So I use an eyedropper. Open the outer shield off so I can get to the fuel tank. Small little amount of fuel. Make sure you put the cap back on. Seal the stove back together. Okay, now there's a little tray in the bottom. You just want to put that small amount of fuel in that little tray. It's a little cup, a little gold cup. And now we're lit. So I'm going to put my fuel key in. Crack it just a little bit after I set my fingers on fire. So now that's going to heat up the fuel tube, which is going to heat up the tank, which is going to cause the pressure that makes the stove burn. Now we're getting a good burn going. Starting to sound like a little blowtorch, which it is. As the tube heats up, as the tank heats up, you get more and more pressure, and that gives you more and more flame. At this point it's just about ready to start cooking. So once the blowtorch settles down a little bit, then we'll just give a steady roar. there you go. It's a SVEA 123. Works great. Like I said, works great at altitude. Turn it down to where it's just barely a simmer, which works great for keeping stuff warm. And then you can crank it up. Very dependable piece of kit. Going way up in the mountains and your life's going to depend on it, you better have good stuff. This is good stuff. Anyway, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.